The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah!
Go Cowboys!
This is Talkin Cowboys. Streaming live from the Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star in Frisco.
Handoff, Elliott plowing to the goal line. Barry, sacked by Lawrence. Prescott keeps it, and he bangs it in for the touchdown.
And now, your hosts, Isaiah Stanback, Patrick Walker, and Kyle Yeomans.
It is a Victory Monday here on Talkin Cowboys for the 8th time in 2022. The Dallas Cowboys are victorious, this time on a Thanksgiving holiday for the first time since 2018. 28-20 over the New York Giants as the Cowboys improve to 8-3 and take over sole possession of second place in the NFC East. Welcome into Talkin Cowboys, presented by Black Rifle Coffee Company here on this Victory Monday, alongside Patrick No C. Walker, Isaiah Stanback, Chris Beam in the back as always. I'm Kyle Yeomans. Gentlemen, how we doing?
Fantastic.
Fantastico.
Everybody have a good holiday?
Did. How about you guys?
It was awesome. So nice.
You feeling all right, man?
Yeah, no, I feel like garbage, but outside of that,
Not compost.
no,
Not even recyclable.
No, this is maybe recyclable.
Recyclable.
Maybe.
Okay.
Kyle Yeomans
Maybe.
pops up on the injury report with
Illness.
illness.
If there was a questionable tag on the beat writers and the reporters of the Dallas Cowboys,
Questionable or doubtful?
I'd be questionable.
Sounded like you were doubtful before we went
doubtful
live.
on Sunday. I had a game on Saturday, and you could ask Heckma Harrison about this because we did the North Texas and Rice game together, and I legitimately could barely stand that morning.
Oh.
Got there,
My
got it done,
goodness.
made it work.
Oh, well, I'm leaving
Yeah, that was doubtful. And I've never used – so peek behind the curtain for broadcasters, there's a cough button that you have to use in order to
many times you
mask
hit it?
and mute it.
How many times you
Dude,
hit it?
I have never used the cough button
You was mashing
so
that
much
thing.
in my
Mashing
life.
that thing,
He was
son.
Morse coding it.
Yeah, there was more – I was probably muted
Hey.
more time than I was talking in that broadcast.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, fun fact. I used to know Morse code.
Really?
I did.
Used to.
Why?
I definitely forgot it.
Yeah, you've forgotten since
because
then?
my mom wouldn't let me go to the hood middle school. That was a couple blocks from the house.
Okay.
So her and the rest of the moms in the hood sent me and my boys up to a school all the way up on Queen Anne Hill in Seattle, the bougie area of Seattle. And we had, in order to pass middle school, in order to graduate middle school, you had to do Morse code.
Are you serious?
Promise you.
So
Wow.
your school was teaching you Morse code. Mine was teaching me the G code. Those are two different types of codes were going on.
Well, the G codes learned that
I was
daily.
going, two different types of
I thought you were
codes
going to say
being
it was
going
some Bill Belichick thing from back in the day. No. All right, but let's go through it. Cowboys win 28-20 over the New York Giants. Take over second place in the NFC East. Ezekiel Elliott with 92 yards on the ground. Tony Pollard with 60, but it was Dak Prescott and the tight ends that that took center stage. 21 of 30 passing for Dak, 261, 2 touchdowns. He had a couple interceptions early in the game, but then he found Dalton Schultz a couple times, Jake Ferguson a couple times, and CeeDee Lamb up over 100 yards receiving as well. What were your thoughts overall, Isaiah?
Overall, I thought it was a good victory. Nothing crazy. Nothing crazy. I think the offense finally started getting their little groove back. That was exciting to see. And I think defensively, they did a pretty doggone good job against the run. So I was happy.
Second straight week that the Cowboys defense has shown up against one of the top three, if you're talking about Saquon and Dalvin Cook, top three arguably halfbacks in the game. And not so coincidentally, they won both of those outings. So one thing that we were harping on coming out of the Minnesota victory was consistency. Can we see that from, all three phases of the Cowboys? Offensively, still a couple hiccups, right?
Yep.
Still a couple miscues. Therein the interceptions came from, but they showed me a lot from the aspect of run defense. And keep in mind, they were able to keep Saquon Barkley to 39 yards on 11 carries without Jonathan Hankins on the field, who was out with an illness. He was inactive with an illness. So, yeah, saw some consistency in the run defense. That was great.
Does it take away the fact that they were going up against multiple backups. I mean, this is a New York Giants offensive front that was missing 3 of their 5 normal starters and 4 guys that had at least started 1 game.
I don't care
this season. Doesn't matter.
I don't care. Those guys backups get paid too.
Yeah, but it's not the same in terms of trying to.
Terrence Steele was a backup at one point.
So you're saying that if he was he started 13 games his rookie season.
But was he the starter?
No,
right.
He wasn't.
Backups get paid as well. Backups can become starters if they step in and step up.
Sure.
And I don't feel badly for the opposition's backups not stepping up and playing to the caliber of. Now I get what you're saying. There's levels to this, right? There's difference between all pro and a backup. That's fair. That's completely true. That's just science. That's just what it is. But my point being, if the Cowboys had lost this game to backups, right, then everybody be like, oh, how do you?
Yeah.
But they win this game, and then there's people out there saying, oh, well, you beat a bunch of backups. Hashtag keep that energy.
Well, that's not what I'm necessarily saying.
No, not you.
I'm talking more so on the confidence level because, yeah, they did shut down Saquon Barkley. 11 carries, 39 yards. That's 3.5 yards per pop. He had the 1-yard touchdown run that was set up by the big play to Darius Slayton. So he didn't have the numbers that a Saquon Barkley should have. But you did it against Minnesota, which was great. Mm-hmm. That was full-blown, you shut down Dalvin Cook or at least limited Dalvin Cook for the most part. That was a big confidence boost for the run defense. I don't know if this one has that same kind of jolt.
No, it doesn't have the same energy as far as the explosiveness behind the feeling of the victory. So you go into Minnesota and you beat an 8-1 Minnesota team, with a healthy Dalvin Cook and Justin Jefferson, and they're rolling 8 in a row going into that game. That's not what this was on Thanksgiving. So to your point, it's not equivalent. However, it's still a meaningful win. It's not something that you will pop bottles over. You shouldn't be popping bottles anyway because it's still the regular season. But it doesn't carry the same sense of wonderment as what happened in Minnesota, but it still matters in such a way because even though the stats are not going to show that they were backups. The stats are going to show that you beat a divisional rival. The stats are going to show that you swept a divisional rival.
A playoff team right now.
A playoff team right now, and that you're only one and a half behind Philly? Right
Two.
Now? Two
right now.
Behind Philly. So, I mean, the stats are going to show and the stadiums are going to show that you handled business, and that's basically what it is, Isaiah. They handled business. They shocked the world, for the most part, in Minnesota, but they simply handled business against New York, which is what they were supposed to do.
Yeah, that's that last statement. They did what they were supposed to do. I mean, nothing amazing here. The team was beat up. They can only play the team that shows up. So they took care of business.
There you go.
Yeah, I think it's at least somewhat of a conversation to be had about the defense and what they were able to do. Because at least going back, and I know Isaiah, you've watched the film by this point too.
Yeah.
But I was really impressed with Leighton Vander Esch and DeMarcus Lawrence. I thought those two guys, some of the savvy vets of that defense, came up and stepped up big. I want to talk about Leighton for a second here because I don't think he gets as much credit as he needs to. Okay. How much credit is he deserving of because of the way this defense has been playing and the fact that he's the one that's right in the middle of it all?
I can't speak to him just particularly. I think that he's having more opportunities this year to make plays because the front four is playing better.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think linebackers are usually products of the guys that are in front of them. Mm-hmm. So I think that with the stress that he's under this year, the lack thereof extension of his contract, all those kind of things, I think that he is trying to make a case for why he should remain
playing
Dallas
with
Cowboy.
the chip.
Yep,
yeah.
Absolutely.
I've said it all season, and obviously there have been some valleys in his mountain range as far as the totality of his season thus far, but there have been far more peaks than valleys, and I keep saying it. I tweeted, I put it in articles. Our LVE is having a resurgent season. Ladies and gentlemen, whether you like to admit it or not, because you came into the season and you were standing on a particular hill when it came to Leighton Vander Esch, and that hill basically said, "Oh well, he's not what he was when he was a Pro Bowl rookie," and at that point, going into training camp, that was justifiable. I understand, but you can't now look at the film through what's about to be November as we look forward to December and justifiably say that LVE is not having one of the better seasons as a Cowboys defensive player. He just absolutely is. And he was critical in helping the Cowboys to handle their business against the New York Giants, critical in helping the Cowboys to upset the Minnesota Vikings. Because even if you look at the Giants, they were playing backups, Kyle, but on the film shows there were still lanes every once in a while that were being opened for Saquon Barkley, but those linebackers for the Cowboys, they were in those lanes. They were filling those lanes. They were setting those edges. Saquon, when he couldn't get the A and B, he tried to take the C and the D and the E, and he couldn't get those letters either, right? So shouts out to LVE and Damone Clark as well, 46 snaps on Thanksgiving, third 40-plus snap game in his 4-game NFL career, and the kid was flying around, and he's taking his cues from a veteran like LVE. So the linebacker core is starting to come alive, and Anthony Barr's not even back yet.
No, I think Damone's been great at times. He's had some good plays throughout. There were a couple times when his reads were off. His awareness. He's a rookie.
That hasn't had training camp.
Hasn't had a ton of playing time, ton of practice time.
Or training camp.
There's a lot of excitement still for what Damone's going to bring.
Yes.
He's not there yet. But he's still making plays. And that's a good thing, is that when he's not to where you want him to be, but he's still making an impact, that's a huge plus for this defense, especially when you've got guys around him. What did you think about the secondary when you went back and looked at it and how they played against New York? Anthony Brown, Trayvon Diggs. Diggs barely got targeted in that game.
Yeah, they're not throwing the ball his way. Again, I felt like this game was very vanilla, honestly.
Well, I want you to make it not vanilla for me, Isaiah. I need you to give me something here.
I really ain't got much, man. I mean, they weren't really a threat. And this offense of the Giants wasn't really a threat.
Why weren't they a threat? That was a 7-3 team going in.
Yeah, I get
that's
it.
somewhat
records,
of a threat.
I mean, again, that's analytics, stats, all that jazz. I mean,
that's a record.
Yeah, all teams aren't the same. So records are dictated based upon who you have opportunity to play against. So their record against Dallas is 0-2. That's that's the facts. And then Dallas is just. The records were the same. I said this on a pregame show. Records were the same, but these are not two of the same teams.
Yeah.
It's just not even – they're not even in the same realm, same ballpark. I think what Coach Dayball is doing over there is an amazing job, patchwork. I mean, this dude literally was given a broken puzzle, and he's just putting it, piecing it together. He's done a heck of a job with it. I think they're a team that you better have your eye on over the next few years when he has the opportunity to start getting his guys in there. But as of right now, they're just not on the same level playing field as Dallas. So what these guys showed offensively, not a whole lot. Dallas has done a good job of playing safe defense for the most part. And what this front seven is allowing for them to do is providing them plenty of opportunities to play really good defense in the secondary. They're not being forced to have to guard guys down the field. They're not being forced to have to guard, take big shots down the field. They're able to play safe, able to play patient, and sit there and watch their guys up front eat. And then when the opportunities present themselves, they're able to break on plays.
I'll tell you what, Isaiah's correct in the aspect of the Giants' offense mostly being vanilla. They don't have the downfield weapons.
Yeah.
So if you equate vanilla to snow, Cowboys need to stop eating the yellow snow. And the yellow in the snow is those penalties. The penalties that they continue to commit on defense, the Cowboys did, that extended drives unnecessarily for Daniel Jones and the New York Giants, that's what helped keep them in a game that they should not have been in. I mean, the Cowboys should have run away with this game in the first quarter, especially the second quarter.
Yeah.
If not for those penalties. What are we talking about? 13 penalties, if I'm not mistaken? 13 penalties for 86 yards. And it's not just the penalties, but it's the type of penalty. It's the timing of those penalties as well. Talk about Carlos Watkins, for example. Those penalties have to be cleaned up. And you're not going to beat the better teams in the league, and I'm eyeing toward the playoffs at the moment, if you're in a game committing 13 penalties, 10 penalties, 9 penalties. You're going to have to clean that up, because if you're extending drives for Jalen Hurts, if you're extending drives for Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen, you're not going to win that game.
Yeah.
You're just not. So that's the yellow in the snow. Cowboys need to stop peeing in their own snow. Right, and clean that up. And if they clean that up, then they can continue to take care of business as they, kind of eye forward to the AFC South coming up this week.
There's a lot of unnecessary mental images being thrown around in this
don't
studio
eat the yellow
today.
snow, Kyle.
Yeah, don't do it.
Don't eat
tip
the
of the
yellow
day.
snow.
I like what you're bringing up here, though, because if there was something that wasn't vanilla about this ball game, it was the fact that you were down 13-7 at halftime.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the fact that you had two
Penalties.
turnovers in the first half, and you had it's hard to call it a slow start because you were never down by more than a possession, never down by more than 6 points.
Yeah, I mean,
but it still wasn't the same type of.
And they were moving the ball. Cowboys were.
The Cowboys are hurting
They
themselves.
there you go.
The Cowboys are hurting themselves. I mean, they're not being outplayed. It's not like they're facing these opponents that have these great schemes against them.
Sure.
And they're struggling to try to work their way through that until the second half. To No C's point, penalties are keeping teams in the game. Yeah. Dak's decision making is keeping teams in the game. These are the things that are reoccurring that they're going to have to find a way to stop them, because you can't. Like you already mentioned, you can't have 13 penalties a game and think that you're going to keep winning ball games. It's just you have one of the worst, easiest schedules in the league. That's been talked about. Okay, regardless, you play whoever shows up. But when you start getting to those games that really matter, that formula doesn't work. And when you start playing teams that matter, Dak, you got to understand the doggone coverage and where you can go with the ball. You can't just be throwing it down the doggone field versus two-man and thinking that your guys are just going to make plays because they're your guys. So these are things that have to get cleaned up, because those same types of plays, those same types of penalties, and those characteristics will destroy you and will keep you back home again after a week one matchup in the playoffs.
All they got to do is clean that up. And what I will say positively as far as the defense is concerned, not only did they set the edges against Saquon Barkley, but they did not allow Daniel Jones to use his legs at all. There's one play in particular where I recall Donovan Wilson, Daniel Jones, the play was broken, the interior pressure got there, DJ broke out to the left, and his thought process was, I'm going to scramble. I see nothing but green in front of me. I'm taking this and moving the chains. Donovan Wilson comes streaking across the field, and you could see it in Jones's eyes when he changed his mind and was like, this isn't going to happen.
Yeah, I'm good.
And it ended up being a tackle at the line of scrimmage. So if the Cowboys defense can continue to set the edge and continue flying around like that, not only will they be able to continuously stop the run from the aspect of a halfback out of the backfield, but these mobile quarterbacks, and I'm looking at Jalen Hurts, these mobile quarterbacks will then have much more of a challenge. So take that playbook that you used against Daniel Jones, Dan Quinn, refine it, and get it ready for Philadelphia in a few weeks.
So you brought up the fact that they're beating themselves, and that this has been a problem, and it's a compounding problem that you have to be better at. And it's not just penalties. Penalties do play a factor into that, but it's the mistakes. It's the interceptions early in the game. It's forcing the ball into a tight window. It's missing a block. I thought Tyler Smith and Tyler Biotish were taken advantage of on Thursday.
Oh, yeah,
those guys had a rough day.
Big Leonard Williams is back, too.
I was about to say, Williams and Dexter Lawrence and Kayvon Thibodeau not going to make it easy on you.
Thibodeau was back there a lot.
Yeah, he was in the backfield quite a bit. And credit to New York. They did a great job of scheming it up against Biotish and Tyler. They fought.
And they got some dudes.
They fought.
Yeah.
But they were not very good in that game. Which one worries you more? The 2021 Cowboys, in the fact that they beat themselves quite a bit, and that was kind of the early warning signals of what was to come in the wild card round against San Francisco? Or do you feel like you're more confident in that area of the game this time around, this year, in 2022? Penalties, self-inflicted wounds, whatever it may be.
I'm more confident in the 2021 Dallas Cowboys.
Last year's.
Yeah.
Why?
Because that offense can overcome
some
of this adversity.
Could you not say the same thing about this defense, though?
This defense is more patient. This defense is more solid up front, I would say, than last year. The penalties, those are decisions. Penalties are decisions. That is a product of you being lazy. That's a product of you being out of position. That's a product of you having bad hand placement, technique, all those things. That's where the penalties come in, right? So those are things that are always correctable. The difference is this year they have more playmakers on defense, okay? Last year they made bigger plays on defense. You look at this year, this offense is not as explosive as last year. So the ability to overcome penalties, the ability to overcome turnovers was greater last year than it is this year. So that's why I'm like hesitant, like, hey, okay, you're winning ball games, you're doing good, but you better clean this mess up because you don't have the same room for error as you did last year, at least offensively.
Yeah.
At least offensively, you don't have the same room for error.
Because you have to fight and claw and scratch your way back into a ball game.
Last year, if you get down by 10, 13, whatever it is, okay, you get down like that, you're like, okay, whatever. You're right. 2 plays later, we'll get a touchdown. This year, you don't have that same feeling. You just don't. And it's not even just a feeling. It's just a reality. This offense cannot strike as fast as it did last year. So you don't have that room for error. You can't keep putting yourself in these positions. And I'm sure they're working out the kinks, and I'm sure that they feel like they're in control of the game. So you take more risk when you feel like, okay, we're just that much better. But they better clean it up.
What if they get that Odell guy? Would you feel? Would it change your sentiment?
No, not until I can see what he does.
That's fair, and that is very fair. As a matter of fact, what I would say though is the defense. If we're looking at the Giants game, because that's the most recent one, and it's not the first time. Nor will it be the last time the defense will have to kind of save the day.
No,
but the defense continuously deleted errors that the offense made. delete. Right. Hardy Boys, shout out to the Hardy Boys. But they continuously deleted errors that the Cowboys made. So I would say that, and I'm real big on, defense does win championships. So I feel more confident in this version of the Cowboys over last year's version in the aspect of penalties, because if for whatever reason they don't get these penalties cleaned up, we talked about it at the top of the show, you're putting yourself in a position to lose in the playoffs, early in the playoffs, but you're also putting yourself, keep it to regular season, you're also putting yourself in a position to potentially lose to a team like the Colts and the Jaguars and the Texans. Why? Because you're allowing them to remain in the game, and if you allow them to remain in the game, they're going to still have hope, and the hope grows, and all of a sudden, one bad call or no call, one bad bounce of the ball, and now you've lost that game, and you should have won that game. So penalties can come back and bite you, obviously, but this defense, it can delete them. It can delete them. This is not me saying you shouldn't be concerned about it, because the defense has also shown that if they have a bad day, what if they have a bad day on the day that you're kind of penalty ridden?
Yep.
That game's over.
Yep.
That game's over. So bottom line, clean it up. Clean it up. Clean it up.
I have a stat line that I want to give on the other side of the break that might change your mind on how you think about this offense right now.
Don't tease me.
Yes. I think it will change your mind. It changed my mind, and it gives me a new perspective moving into the last couple months of the season. We'll talk about it when we come back with more Talking Cowboys presented by Black Rifle Coffee Company.
When you build, you start with the foundation. And home ownership is a foundation of a stable future. The Bank of America Community Home Ownership Commitment has helped over 34,000 people lay the groundwork so far, with up to $10,000 towards your down payment or 3% of the purchase price, whichever is less. The satisfaction of owning your own place can become a reality. Visit bankofamerica.com/homeowner to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America N.A. Equal Housing Lender. Credit and collateral is subject to approval. Restrictions apply. This is not a commitment to lend.
Little Sweet! Did you get to work on time?
Yeah, but I just realized it's Sunday.
Little Sweet says head on home. Dr. Pepper's on its way. So sweet, unique. Baby, there's nothing better. I bet you've probably done something that deserves a Dr. Pepper. Did you invest your nest egg in an NFT?
Yeah, and I don't even know what that is. It's a non-fungible token.
Everyone's done something that deserves a Dr. Pepper.
Todd thought it would be secure to jog in the cheetah savanna. Todd believed the big cat repellent he bought online was reliable. And now, Todd is trying to be faster than this cheetah that can run 80 miles per hour. But the good news is, Todd has AT&T 5G that is fast, reliable, and secure. And he learned the best thing to do is stop running and toss her the backpack with the beef stew. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure. It's not complicated.
5G requires compatible plan and device. 5G may not be available in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
Are you ready to take coffee off your grocery list forever? Black Rifle Coffee Club is here to help. As a coffee club member, you'll get your favorite coffees roasted, packaged, and shipped to your door free of charge on your preferred schedule. Set it, forget it, and never run low on coffee again. Members also get exclusive deals on coffee, products, and discounts from partner brands. Ease your mind and let Black Rifle worry about your coffee supply. Go to blackriflecoffee.com to join the coffee club today.
Back to Talkin' Cowboys.
Live music fans, head to the Star in Frisco on Tuesday, November 29th for a brand new monthly concert series, Sounds of the Star, featuring the country rock band Western Rewind. Woo! Concert tickets. And concert kicks off at 7 p.m. There are no tickets because it's free and open to the public. What? For more info, visit thestarinfrisco.com.
Did you say free?
Free.
Free 99. Are you out of your mind?
Yeah. Isaiah will be there. He's a big country rock guy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What's your favorite
rodeo? You
country
you
rock?
Go to the rodeo, right?
Yeah.
My wife took me to a concert last night.
Who was playing?
I don't even know.
He doesn't even know.
You don't even know?
What?
You spaced up.
Not my style, but
you spaced up.
I went.
I hope she's
Was
not.
it at
I
Belly
hope for
Bob's?
your sake she's not.
She's listening. She knows. She knows.
She's
She knows.
You still have no idea who you saw last night?
It was like King Country something.
King and Country?
It was like a Christian band, 2 guys from Australia. And they had, I don't know.
Oh, I think it's For King and Country or
There
something.
you go.
I
Something
don't
like
know.
that.
I got to look it up.
Something like that.
How do you go to a
I'm gonna
concert
find
and
it.
don't know who's playing?
Bro.
Yeah, you were spaced out.
Yeah, For King and Country. I got it.
Country.
Yeah.
There you go.
Spaced out.
Okay.
There you go. That's what I went to.
There you go.
Good
Oh,
talk.
were they good?
It was a good show.
They weren't memorable apparently because he was just like,
apparently,
I
yeah,
don't
they're
remember
It's
their
not my
name.
style. It's not my style. But I was present. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
like Key and
goodness.
Peele. Present.
Supportive.
There you
Present. All right. This stat, I'm wondering if it'll change your mind on how you look at this Cowboys
I'm not a
offense.
stat guy, Kyle.
I know. However, weeks 1 through 6, so all the way up until the end of the Cooper Rush era.
Okay.
Cowboys were ranked 23rd in points, 27th in total yards and in passing yards. They were 29th, so bottom 4 on third down.
Oh, I know where you're going with this.
And they were
I know where he's
25th
Yeah, I know where he's going.
I do too.
on points per drive.
Okay.
So in the 20s for all of those.
In the
bottom,
20s.
Bottom 10 in the league in every single one of those categories.
And then.
And then, following the return of Dak Prescott,
Dakota.
back in the rain, I mean, first in points, third in total yards, sixth in passing yards.
Keep going.
And then they're number one in the NFL in third down, which they were 29th previously. And they're first in points per drive.
So you're saying Dak matters?
He does matter.
Okay. That's the point you're making,
Absolutely.
right? Okay.
He completely matters.
Still not as explosive as last year.
First, third, sixth, first, and first. I mean,
Still not as explosive.
it's not as explosive because I would guarantee yards per play
I was going to
is
say, what he's saying
probably way
is
different.
First this year isn't the same as first last year because there was more.
No,
more
there was
yardage
more.
and
There was more there.
points.
Kyle, that's a very
However,
valid point that you're making there.
But we've talked about it before. This defense is so good.
Yeah.
Especially when they can stop the run too, and they can compound the fact that they can pass rush with the best of anybody, and then they can stop the run even at a medium rate.
Right.
All you need is an offense to be capable of making a move, of putting up numbers.
Until
what?
The defense has a
Bad day.
bad day.
Sure.
And they're entitled to that.
But see, I think, and to Kyle's point, the difference now with Dak being back is that if you eliminate the miscues and minimize the penalties, the offense can now delete defensive errors. Delete. This you couldn't say this in the Cooper Rush era.
No,
And
there's
this
no
is,
way.
That's no
I'm
shade
not-
to Cooper. Just the way the game plays.
I understand you guys' valid points that you're making, okay? However,
there's the face.
There's
the face.
I am not comparing Dak to freaking Cooper.
We're not.
No, we're not.
We're talking.
Okay.
We're
No,
comparing
what we're
Dak
saying is-
to a capable offense.
I get it. It's not enough. It's not enough with the mistakes that are being made. Let me say it that way.
I mean, you're 4-1 in the
I don't give a
games.
doggone. It's not
Should be
enough.
fi- should be
Should be 5-0.
It's not enough with the mistakes that you're making. Again, and people are going to crucify me. That's fine.
Yeah, they're going.
But they're going to do that regardless.
Yeah, they say what they say.
I look at things in the light of what is it going to take to get the ring, not to the playoffs.
Sure.
What is it going to take to get through the playoffs and ultimately get the ring? That is always my perspective. Now, along that journey, you have to look at it on a week-by-week basis.
Sure.
Okay, and I get that. Okay, I totally get that, but that's not where my mind is. You can't continue to have this offense playing the way it's playing with the turnovers and think that you're just going to say, oh, our defense is just that good.
And you're not wrong. And correct me if I misqualify what you're saying. What Kyle is saying is, your point is that the offense isn't as explosive as last season. I agree with that. I don't think Kyle disagrees.
Yeah, I agree with it.
For sure. That being said, his point with those stats is that the offense is much more likely and capable to delete a defensive bad day than it was during that stretch of Cooper Rush, which was absent.
I would totally agree with that.
So let's build on that.
Okay.
With that being the foundation.
Okay. The trajectory.
If that's the trajectory.
Okay.
Cowboys eliminate the miscues on offense. Minimized. I'm not even asking you to delete the penalties altogether. Okay. Now I feel like I'm just asking too much.
Yeah, that'd be a lot.
But if you just minimize the penalties to 3 or 4 a game instead of 13, and you cut out the miscues in the receiving game, this defense and this offense, even without Odell Beckham Jr., is closer to 35 points per game than not.
Yeah.
And that can win you a game if your defense is struggling against the run or whatever the case may be. So that's all. If I'm not mistaken, that's kind of what he's saying.
That's
two
where
different
I'm
offenses.
leading.
It's the Cooper Rush offense versus the Dak is back and Dak's finding his wheels in 2022. This version of the offense. Delete the miscues, minimize the penalties. Yeah, they can carry.
Even with the penalties and the turnovers, they had two turnovers against Chicago. They had a couple turnovers against Detroit. They had a turnover against New York, 2 turnovers against New York, and they still won those games handily. Yeah, they were never in trouble in those games. I'm not comparing New York, Chicago, and Detroit to a Super Bowl caliber team that they're going to play later on in the season.
Do you feel secure with what Dallas put on the field the other day? Do you feel secure if that was Philadelphia?
No,
I don't. And that's what I'm talking about. And that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm comparing to.
Yeah.
Right? That's what I'm talking about.
You saw that last night. I mean, Philadelphia going up against Green Bay last night. That was the same Green Bay team that came back and beat you because of your miscues. Philadelphia didn't make that. I know.
I'm just having some fun because I'm thinking.
But that's the point. You were the only team.
It took 3 interceptions for Philly to beat you in Philly. So maybe you beat them if you only throw 2.
The Giants weren't capable offensively. Let's just be real, okay? They're not capable at this point in time. This Giants isn't capable of playing keep away and marching down the field and keeping your defense on the field. They're not right now. They're not. So this Giants, and I'm not taking away Dallas's win. Okay, they got the dub, but that team that you just played against, that you beat, and that you should have beat, they were not in a position to take advantage of their lead.
Yeah.
Does that make sense what I'm saying? Like, they were not a capable opponent in that regard of holding and maintaining and expanding upon a lead. A Philadelphia is, right? A Tampa Bay is when they're healthy. Okay?
I would also argue the fact that Dallas took that lead back.
I'm not saying they didn't, but I'm just saying the caliber. I'm just saying a more capable offense scares the crap out of me with Dallas in that position. That's what I'm saying. Dallas did what they had to do to beat the Giants. Cool. Pat on the back, slap him on the butt on the way by. Jason Garrett clap. Okay, cool. But
should have been a blowout though.
Yeah, it should have been. Sure. But Philadelphia with that lead,
6 points. It's only 6 points. And then Dallas got the ball back at the start of the third quarter.
With that lead versus Cooper Rush, you're right. Philadelphia with that lead versus Dak Prescott, I don't agree.
I feel
that's where we're
gonna find out.
Sure. Hopefully we don't find out that way. Hopefully we don't find out. If the Cowboys play a clean game, it's always going to be if.
It's always
if the Eagles play a clean
I'm speaking
game,
to so it's an if.
Right.
Dallas can't continue making these turnovers.
Yeah, we agree on that.
That's really my point.
Clean it up.
They have to clean it up because if they continue this play into the playoffs,
it'll cost them sooner or later.
It would destroy them.
It'll cost them
not just cost them. It will destroy them, and you'll be having the same sorrow offseason that you had this past year.
Yeah. No, you're right. And that's the thing is the NFC is so wide open at the moment.
Very much so.
So wide open that you have an opportunity to go in. If you win the division, you're going to be the number 1 seed. That's plain and simple. If the season were to end right now,
NFC Beast.
The entire NFC East is in the playoffs.
Yep, I get it.
All 4 teams.
Way to go, Falcons.
Philadelphia is number 1, and then you've got it would be the Dallas Cowboys at number 5, then New York at number 6, and then Washington at number 7. All 4 teams in the NFC East are in the playoffs.
Washington's trying to stay in our hip pocket, aren't they?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And they're winning some games.
Atlanta had one job.
They're like lint right now.
They had one job.
Freaking A.
Well, that just sets the stage for the Cowboys to
all valid points, man.
To end the Commanders' playoff hopes.
All valid points. I just want them to start. These are decisions. These aren't just mistake or it just didn't go our way. Like these are bad decisions. These
throw over the middle, I agree.
Yes.
And then the free play one was kind of a freak.
That was a fluke. That was a fluke. I could throw that one out the window, okay?
Yeah.
But either way, it happened, right? But even if you wanted to throw that one out the window, like the penalties, the bad decisions, bad technique, bad. Interception, this is recurring.
Yep.
This is not the first time, or this isn't just, okay, let's just disregard that. Like we've seen this multiple weeks now.
Third week. It's the third time in 4 weeks.
Like, come on now. Like, stop it.
But you do have to love how the offense is starting to come along. Penalties and miscues
Kellen
aside,
Moore is calling great games.
He's in his bag. Kellen is in his bag.
Except for the freaking reverses that he keeps doing.
Yeah, every once in a while he gets a little frisky. All right, okay. But yeah, every once in a while he'll put some anchovies on that pizza. Just relax. But for the most part, he's calling a magnificent game. CeeDee Lamb is playing out of his
Michael Gallup
had
a
is
balling game.
Yes. Not only critical catches, but physical. Grown man. I'm bigger than you.
Hands.
I'm better than you. This is my ball, period.
That boy was on the jugs all
You're
week.
starting to see Michael Gallup become Michael Gallup again. CeeDee Lamb is just playing unconscious football right now, and that touchdown should have been a touchdown. Just
Agreed.
Don't even get me started on that one.
Agreed.
And then you look at the four horsemen in the tight end room. Doughty, Ferguson, Jake
tight end.
Jake Hurdleson, right? Peyton Hendershot, and then even Sean McEwen is getting in on the action.
I
as
like
well.
the trajectory.
Yeah, so
I like the trajectory.
offense is looking great, and then not to mention those two guys in the backfield, Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott.
It sounds like we're complaining a little bit about the turnovers and the penalties.
I am.
It's nitpicking. That's all it is. Because this offense is playing better. I think the confidence level is rising in the offense, no doubt. They are playing better as you get
What we're
along.
saying is the same things that the coaches are saying.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it nitpicking as much as I'd say be better.
Identifying
in these two obvious areas. Miscues and penalties, you have to be better. This is not breaking news. You're hearing it.
That's how you're going to get hurt later.
Right, you're saying it. Dak he said it after the game. He said we have to be better tomorrow. They understand. They cannot go forward getting 10-plus penalties a game and expect this to be a Super Bowl winning team.
Yeah.
And that has to be frustrating knowing that, and I'll say it again, this is a team from coaching to personnel that is a Super Bowl caliber team. But your talent and your potential versus your willingness and discipline, those things all have to marry in order for you to achieve your greatness.
To even get to that point.
They all have to marry.
Well, when we come back here on Talkin' Cowboys, it's time to do some helmet stickers. Who achieved that greatness against the New York Giants in week number 12 of the regular season? We'll talk about it when we come back right after this.
Todd thought it would be secure to jog in the cheetah savanna. Todd believed the big cat repellent he bought online was reliable. And now, Todd is trying to be faster than this cheetah that can run 80 miles per hour. But the good news is, Todd has AT&T 5G that is fast, reliable, and secure. And he learned the best thing to do is stop running and toss her the backpack with the beef stew. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure. It's not complicated.
5G requires compatible plan and device. 5G may not be available in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
Black Rifle Coffee Company serves premium coffee to people who love America. When you drink Black Rifle coffee, you are directly supporting veterans, law enforcement, and first responders in your community. Black Rifle's expert roasters love coffee almost as much as Texas loves football, so it makes sense that America's Coffee partnered with America's team. Go online at blackriflecoffee.com and fuel up with the official coffee of the Dallas Cowboys. That's blackriflecoffee.com to fuel up today.
Lil Sweet! Did you get to work on time?
Yeah, but I just realized it's Sunday.
Lil Sweet says head on home. Dr. Pepper's on its way. So sweet, unique. Baby, there's nothing better. I bet you've probably done something that deserves a Dr. Pepper. Did you invest your nest egg in an NFT?
Yeah, and I don't even know what that is. It's a non-fungible token.
Everyone's done something that deserves a Dr. Pepper.
Want to use what the pros use? How about the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black? Right now, you can get the Jack Black Starter, a curated collection of Cowboys locker room favorites for just $10 with free shipping. The starter includes 4 Jack Black skincare favorites, plus a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Go to getjackblack.com/Cowboys and use the code word TEAMJB. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys. The Jack Black Starter, $10, free shipping.
Back to Talkin' Cowboys.
Back here on Talking Cowboys, here on this Victory Monday. By the way, take some time because Dallas Cowboys defensive coordinator Dan Quinn's longtime support of service members, veterans, and their families demonstrate the salute to service tenets to honor, empower, and connect with those that preserve our freedoms. The Cowboys are proud to nominate Coach Quinn as our 2022 NFL Salute to Service Award Club nominee. Join us in making sure he becomes a finalist for this prestigious award by going on and voting at NFL.com/salute-fan-vote. Back here at the Star in Frisco, we've got Patrick Nosey Walker, Isaiah Stanback, Chris Beam in the back, and it's time now to give out some helmet stickers. We'll start with Isaiah Standback on this one. Isaiah, who you got?
Well, I was voting for Dan Quinn real quick. You just told me to vote for Dan Quinn.
I need to go on there too.
I'm voting right now
as well.
Just now voting for DQ?
Yeah.
Get it together.
I know.
You can vote multiple times, I think.
Oh, heck yeah.
You hear
All
that,
right.
ladies and gentlemen?
Is my mic on?
Tap, 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 tap,
Can't hear
tap.
myself.
It's on.
It's on. All right, cool.
You're good.
So, right now, I'm going to go with the pineapple. This very studious pineapple. Let me get it off the doggone board here. Boom. There it is.
It's got that backpack.
You see that studious back? You see that? Backpack. Who do you guys think was carrying around his backpack and was in his bag?
Was it Kellen Moore?
Kellen Moore.
Kellen Moore was in his doggone bag this week. He has been in his bag for multiple weeks. I am proud of Kellen Moore in his dedication to the run, right? And his complimentary passing off of it. I like it, K. Moore.
Very nice, very nice. Patrick, who you got?
You know what? It's easy to go with some of the bigger names like a C.D. Lamb or, Ezekiel Elliott had a fantastic day as well.
You going with
I'm
the
going to
long
go
snapper?
with the Angry Strawberry. Angry Strawberry.
Is that for Brian Ingram?
Angry Strawberry goes to Jake Ferguson. Fergie, baby. Fergie fought through injury to return to the game on 2 separate occasions and then ended up hurdling Pinnock. And so why a strawberry, you ask? Because Pinnock drew the straw to try to tackle Ferguson and got buried.
Oh!
In your face. There we go.
Got buried.
Got buried in your face. Jake Hurdleson.
I like it. That one of my favorite plays and favorite celebrations that I've seen of the Cowboys season. Both came from the tight end room because of the hurdle from Jake Ferguson, and then you turn around and you had the
hog tie.
Oh man, so
Shout
good.
out to the tight ends, man.
Yeah, they've got some creativity in their celebration. I've got a cupcake. It's got a blueberry on it right there.
Healthy.
It's the closest thing I've got to.
It's a healthy cupcake.
To a. I don't even know.
Go ahead, Kyle.
I don't know how
Come on. It's a healthy cupcake.
It is a healthy cupcake. I'm not allowed to eat these cupcakes right now. I'm trying to get right for the wedding. Oh, I'm going to give it to Leighton Vander Esch because it was pretty sweet to see him out there playing like he was.
See what you did there.
I think he deserves a lot of credit. He's had a good season so far. He continues to play well. He's leading what he can in the defensive side of the football, and he's stepping up and he's hitting. Man.
Did he outperform his brother from another mother?
Who was that?
Jalen.
Yeah.
Well, Jalen
actually had a pretty good
Jalen played well, actually. I was good.
I saw a swipe. I didn't see a howl.
There was a howl.
There was a howl.
Oh, yeah. There were a couple
howl.
howls. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But, yeah, the swipe early in the game on the 4th and 1, which, by the way, didn't love that decision. Yeah, you saw it in studio. I was like, nope. Don't like it. Don't like it. And then it didn't get it. Yeah, that could have been bad. So before we wrap up, I wanted to set this up for later in the week.
Oh, this is somber.
No, it's a good thing.
Oh, okay.
We've been talking about this for quite some time, and I think it's finally time to do it.
Uh-oh. Nicknames.
It's time to give the defense a nickname.
Oh, you ready?
It's time to do it. I've heard some things kind of floating around, like the underdogs and stuff like that. I don't think this defense is full of underdogs. I really don't. This defense is loaded. So I want to give this defense a nickname. We don't have to do it right this second. This is for later in the week. We're going to do it on Friday.
You sure?
We're going to do it on Say It With Your Chest Friday. We are in week 13 of the season. It's been plenty of time. Plenty of time for this defense to show us they have some weak spots. They can struggle against the run at times. But guess what? This defense is still nasty. Absolutely nasty. And of course, I'm not going with Doomsday 2.0. Nothing like that. No. This is a defense that deserves its own nickname. Mm-hmm. So, fans out there, I want you to give us every single nickname you could potentially have. Anything. Throw us all these suggestions. The best ones, we're going to sit down on Thursday, and we're going to find some of the best ones to feature on Talkin Cowboys on Friday.
Okay.
So I want the fans to just flood our inboxes. He's at Isaiah Standback. I am Standback on Twitter. He's at Voice of the Star. Patrick No-C Walker on Twitter. I'm at Kyle_Yeomans. Flood our inboxes all week long. I don't care if you're listening to this podcast on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or even Friday. Send them all in. I want your best nickname for the Dallas defense, and I want you to just flood it. Okay?
Flood it, son.
So this is a homework assignment for the fans, and if, of course, we get a fan that puts in a great acceptance, a great nickname, we may even give this helmet out at the end of the year.
Oh!
With the helmet stickers on it and everything.
Oh, man.
You hear that, ladies and gentlemen?
We're gonna give this helmet away potentially. So
tap in.
Let's see what's going on. Let's see what's happening. I want you to come up with a nickname too.
Oh,
I want you to come up with a nickname.
You
Patrick?
sure you want me? You know I'm pretty creative, Kyle.
You are creative, which is why I want you to do it.
Hey, y'all hit me on IG, man, because I don't be on the Twitter. Yeah, y'all the Twitter boys.
Yeah.
Well, I'll see it.
Well,
I'll see
you'll
it.
peek
I'll
your
get
head
it to
in
you.
and tap light.
Yeah, I'll tap in.
Yeah, he'll tap light and then
get
the
back
GIF.
out of there.
Get out. Exactly.
And get out of there. Get in
So
and get out.
go ahead, send us all those suggestions. We're going to do it on Friday, so we'll remind you throughout the week as well. But
I'm going to win,
to
Kyle.
set that up.
I'm going to win.
You're going to win it?
I'm definitely going to win.
Not hardly,
we'll
my
see.
friend.
We'll see how it goes. By the way, I'm only going to say this to the Talkin Cowboys crew because there's a lot of stuff that still has to work out between now and then, but I want to make sure that it's out there. Isaiah and I are going to be doing the live pre and post game show from the stadium this week.
Oh, yes.
From the
stadium.
Yeah, they're letting us out the house.
So
They're letting us out the house.
we're going to be at AT&T.
Hey, y'all better come through and represent.
Hey.
I don't care if y'all got to buy the tickets that just allow you on the doggone
My
lookout
boys.
post.
Yeah.
Y'all come represent and hold it down because we're going to be out there getting after it. Yada, I mean.
If I see a Talkin Cowboys sign out there, I'm going to lose it.
We're going out there to talk to them.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. The more for everybody that has a Talkin Cowboys sign at the pregame show, we're gonna come holler at y'all. Personally.
Absolutely.
Make it happen.
Yeah. So pregame show, we'll be out there probably like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock.
We'll give
like
y'all
that.
more info.
Show will start at 7.
Building.
Or at 6 rather, because the game starts at 7.
Is the Washington State flag going to be there?
Yeah, that'd be great.
No, if there's a Washington State flag,
Wazoo flag in the background,
in
baby.
the freaking pond.
Did y'all win?
Funny.
Did we win?
Barely.
We're like number 9 in the nation right now, sir.
I don't watch any of the
hairy
Pac-12
in the
stuff.
beginning.
So.
What?
In the beginning, looked
What?
kind of hairy. And you can't use the because you saw what happened this weekend
What do
with
you
the
guys rank?
rankings.
What do y'all rank?
1.
1? That's what's up.
Yeah,
That's good. We
he's
right
got
there.
the Georgia
Let's go.
Bulldogs.
Right there.
Don't ask my
We
team.
got a new head coach.
Hey, my team's going to the
We got a new
conference
head coach and we're
championship
top
game,
10.
though.
Yeah, don't ask the defending champs what they're ranked.
Ooh,
1.
Wait till we get our recruiting class.
Your team's top 10. Your team's number 1. My team's going to the Conference USA title game, baby.
In
so
your
it's
face.
a good week for college football and Talkin
Go
Cowboys.
Dogs.
For Chris Beam, Isaiah Stanback, Patrick Nosey, Walker. We'll see you tomorrow. More Talkin Cowboys here from the Star in Frisco.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!